Go record this. There we go, confirmation. So hello everyone, and welcome to the Talking Stick Show. So I've been away for a full month, and so we are back. I am back for this outstanding show to continue on this journey of consciousness exploration, going into the unknown. And today I have a special guest. So I have Sam Hancock. Hello, Sam.
Ooh. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, brother. How are you doing today?
Good, mate. Good. Bit sweaty. It's boiling hot up north, so
Yeah.
but other than that, can't complain.
That's it. Us Yorkshiremen we're born with cold bones, aren't we? We're used to this cold weather.
And the minute we get a bit of heat, it was like sweat's dripping off our nose and lot. But
So let's tell everyone listening who doesn't know who you are a little bit about yourself, then, Sam.
so yeah, no worries. So I'm a shamanic practitioner and holistic healer. I mainly do shamanism. The shamanism that I follow originates from Peru, mainly from the jungle and the Quechua tribe up in the mountains in the Andes. Basically, when the Spanish invaded Peru, there's a tribe and they split off into two groups. One group went into the jungle and become like Ayahuasqueros, curanderos, and one group went up into the mountains and like the Incas, the Quechuas, that sort of way on. But both teachings go hand in hand perfectly with each other. So I have my tools upstairs and stuff like that, but I have a mesa, and that's basically like a bag of tools basically that and traumas and different events that I help people through life. So if somebody, say for example, comes to me for a healing and they do want an illumination or they want mesa work, I then open my mesa, they basically pick some out of that, and then whatever they pick determines what healing that they get. So it's almost like they're picking their own healing, like through like energy, through what they need. They know what they need sometimes, but they just can't face it, or they need a bit of helping hand. So I do that. Previous to doing this, I was in the forces. I was in the army. I was in the army for about 6 years, but unfortunately, it just didn't like coexist with my beliefs, like what I want out of life, and that's okay. Like everyone changes their mind, and that's fine. But I definitely lived a lie for a few years upon wanting to do this job, but didn't really have the guts to take it on full time, to be honest.
Okay, so let's go a little bit back then. So you started off, what age did you join the army?
So, I first joined the Royal Marines at 16. Left home at 16, joined the Royal Marines. I got injured week 26 of training because it's like 30 weeks long. Left, pardon me. I had a hernia and I tore my ACL ligament, so I had to get keel surgery and had like some brace on my knee or something for many months. From there, because I wanted to join the army, I wanted to be in the military. Like that's everything that I'd like lived for so long. I then decided that I would join back, but I'd join back to the army.
Okay.
So if you join the army and you go like different regiments, I went Royal Engineers, or if you go like artillery, you can go to an extension of the Royal Marines. So it's like the army's attachment to the commandos, basically. So I decided to do that. So I joined the Royal Engineers. I loved training, like loved meeting new friends. It was so sick. Like I really enjoyed it. And then I went to 2-4 Commando to try and do the Commando course again. Got set to senior the first time, so I failed. Then twisted my ankle, and I thought this was about when I was about joined at 18. I was in the army maybe 2 years and went to Commando, so I was probably about 20 here. I'd already been on the spiritual path, I'd already started this, but I was almost like pushing it to a side. So I was like, no, that's not what I want. For some reason, I don't know why I was saying that. It was almost like because I'd said I'd wanted to join the army, I had to live up to the expectation of others. The way that I describe it is like I made a mask that everyone else would think of me. So I made my own mask of me being in the army, and I thought everyone would believe that. It was like, oh, what's happened in the army? He can't be a shaman, or he can't do holistic healing. That was my own problem there, but I got to that eventually. But so and then obviously I joined the army, went to the 2-4 Commando, failed, and I just thought maybe this isn't for me. And I'd already like done ayahuasca. I'd already been on this spiritual journey by then. And then I thought, like maybe this is for a reason. Maybe something like the universe or energy or whatever you believe in, like some higher power, is stopping me because that isn't my purpose. So it made me really, really question everything that I'd ever thought was right and what I wanted out of my life. It made me question all that. And then I was in a bit of like a predicament here. Do I follow this path that I said I wanted to do and just live a lie, or do I look at other stuff, i.e. shamanism, holistic healing, and follow my right path? So I had a bit of a few years, maybe 2 years, where I was very, very struggling with that, 100% struggling with that. Battle every day, I think.
So let's talk a little bit about this, because this is a very good topic, because I think everyone watching has dealt with it in some way, shape, or form of
Yeah.
living. Living in a way that it's not going with what your responsibility is or your actual truth of who you are. It's kind of like putting on the mask. I've done this before, even in the spiritual way. There's a lot of happens in spirituality. It's understanding that you are who you are, and say you, Sam, you've gone to the army, and but your story is so unique, and we need is more people like you sharing the story
Yeah.
about I went into the Marines and I decided to then come out of it. There's each and every person's story is unique and yours is individual, and it's great to see that. It really is that you're holding your hand up and saying, I've gone through this experience, I went through this awakening, instead of sugarcoating it in any way and actually owning who you are. It's beautiful to see, brother.
Oh, cheers, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah. The thing is, I basically, like, I was in the army and had like a few weeks off or something like that. I was really, really down. I was really depressed. I was anxious. Like, I was full of just unwanted feelings and emotions. I then, I basically gave myself a few months to live, and I tried antidepressants, tried anti-anxiety tablets, tried antipsychotic tablets, tried self-medicating with like CBD, that sort of stuff. Nothing was working. I tried CBT, that therapy, psychotherapy. I was in like a psychiatric ward because my mind was just all over the place. And I thought to myself, like, I'm really ill here, or something was happening. Obviously, I didn't know right at the time, but that was my waking. It was almost like I needed to go through that process to realize who I am and where I wanted to be. But so I thought, oh, everything's wrong with me. The world's against me, which is okay. It's okay to feel that. Like,
Yeah.
don't just for like the viewers there, don't think that that's not normal. Like, it is normal to feel those feelings. Like, they're human responses to like having negative emotion. That's fine. So I was feeling all these things, and then I basically went and drank ayahuasca. For people that don't know what ayahuasca is, it's a psychedelic brew from the Amazon jungle, and it literally changed my life. Utterly changed my life. Like, yeah,
So before we go on to the ayahuasca journey, it would be great.
yeah.
We'll explore into that. It would be great. So what led you into the ayahuasca then, Sam? What made you? So what was the turning point for you going through that illness at the time? What was the turning point for you realizing that something has to change, and there was some choice of going to do the ayahuasca? What was that choice
Yeah,
point for you?
I think, like, I'd already tried to take my own life a few times and failed. And it got to a point where I was laid in my bed or sat on my bed, and I was just like, what is wrong with me? I tried to like commit suicide and I can't. I tried to do these tablets, they don't work. I tried to do this. I've literally got nothing left. I've got no other option. So I looked online, and basically you can pay money. I can't remember where it was, but you pay money to go get an injection, and you basically go to sleep and you don't wake up. So I was looking at that, and I literally thought to myself, this is it. This is my only option. And I thought, there must be something else. There must be, like, that can help me, that can just guide me, that can. And I was looking online, and I basically come across this Reddit forum. Obviously all deep things at like 2 o'clock in the morning, always end up on Reddit.
The deep searching.
I basically come across this Reddit forum, and it was this guy's account of his drug addiction and PTSD. Although I don't have PTSD, by any means, like,
Yeah.
it was relatable because he was in the army, and I was like, this is mental. And then I read a book called The Psychedelic Marine, and it's by an ex Royal Marines commando officer who basically went over to the jungle and did thingy. And I read that, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is me. This could help. This could be it. So obviously then, like, that's the turning point. I thought, I've got nothing else to lose here. If I go and do ayahuasca, it makes me. I don't think I could have got any worse. So
Yeah.
it would either I'd either be the same or I'd have got better. Like I had nothing to lose, so I literally thought, why not go do it? Yeah, why not?
Beautiful. And so you going to make that choice to, so where did you went away to do it? How long did you go for, and how many ceremonies was it you went?
So I did it in the UK because I was still in the army at the time. I was like booking, like the way that the army works is if I book a weekend and they decide that I'm not having that weekend, I'm not having that weekend. Like I don't really have a choice in the matter. So I booked like weekends away to, or say weekends, I booked like weeks away to Peru, and then last minute, like, oh no, we need you doing this or we need you doing that. And I thought, oh, maybe this isn't my time. And then I met a mutual friend, and she'd been doing ayahuasca and found somewhere in the UK. Obviously, I'm not going to disclose that on social media, but found somewhere in the UK, and she basically invited me because obviously we was friends, and like it's invite only, it's trust, like. So I was like, yes, we give it a go. When I did 2 ceremonies, yeah, just utterly blew everything that I thought about myself. Like, I basically, obviously, I give myself a few months to live. And then I drank ayahuasca. I had these 2 profound experiences, first 2 nights. I didn't do it for 8 months after that. 8 months. But then 8 months went by and I thought, I'm still alive here. Like, what's going on? And I thought, maybe this is working. Like, maybe. So then, obviously, in this 8 months, I was like integrating this experience that I'd experienced. And I almost found that like this was the path I wanted to do. Like, I just felt utmost love for anybody that was on like this sort of spiritual path. Because what I found, part of the problem with me previous to drinking ayahuasca was that people didn't understand me. Okay. I was a very, very difficult person to understand. Like I was very masculine, but I was also very feminine. Like then I was into this spiritual stuff, but I was also into shooting. You know, like there was such a confrontation with everything. It was almost like my life was an oxymoron. It just didn't,
Yeah.
you know, contradicted everything. So when I was like talking to people in the army, like some people got it, some people didn't, and that's okay. But like trying to have a decent intellectual conversation about some sort of spirituality or Buddhism or meditation or other realms or spirit, anything to do energy, I was just getting nothing back. So when I was surrounding myself with people who'd done ayahuasca or in the spiritual path or that sort of stuff, I was getting good conversation. I was like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is what I need to be surrounded by. Maybe this is my path. You know, being around people who get it.
Outstanding. And so when you went through that medicine journey, what things happened for you then? Was there anything specific you want to share, or
Yeah,
any
I
feelings,
say
or
yeah.
yeah.
So I'll just put this out there first that all ayahuasca ceremonies are completely and utterly different. Like I will never have the same as somebody else. And we use the term "that's my mat." So my mat is completely different to other people's mat. Like you stay on your mat, I'll stay on my mat. That's just the way it works. Like the things I've experienced in life, the things I need help with, and not the things that you need. They might be, but we'll never ever experience the same thing. So this, what I'm going to tell you, is never going to influence your journeys at all. So the first night I like drank this brew and I laid down on my bed and I was there and I was thinking, well, this isn't working. Like I've been laid here like 40 minutes and nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden this like really, really big, like concrete hand almost like picked me up, like really, really softly, so gently, and just like threw me into the air. And I was like, I remember back to researching about it. Everyone was like, ask it questions, you know, get answers, like do that sort of stuff. So I then said, right, I'm gonna ask questions. So I was in like this realm, this like it was almost like space time continuum. It was like the middle of everything. It's like glistening blackness. That's the only way I can describe it. It was very colourful but had no colour. It was very shiny but had no light, and it wasn't disorientating because I was completely at ease. But and then I was like, right, I need to ask it questions. So I was like, where am I meant to be? What am I meant to be doing? What's the meaning of life? What's this? I was just like, no, I'm asking too many questions here. I'm not going to get anywhere with this. Let's slow down, breathe, concentrate on your breathing, your meditation. So I just said, what am I meant to be doing here? Like, what am I doing? I said, what's my purpose? I need help. And basically, I like got put in front of like this stained glass window. It's the only way I can describe it. And I like looked right, I looked left. I was in this open blackness. I thought, right, the only way I'm going to go is through this stained glass window. So I went through this stained glass window. Then there was 2 really, really close to each other like this. Then I went through 2. Then there was 3. Went through 3. Then there was 4. And I thought, what's going on? This doesn't make any sense. It was so confusing. Left me really, really like asking loads more questions. Sat there with it the second. This was the Friday. I sat there with it the second Saturday. There's more happening than that, but you forget a lot. If you don't write it down, you forget a lot. Yeah. And I didn't know to journal at the time. So like all these people next day were like writing all this stuff down. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm journaling. I was like, why? And it's like, because you forget it and it makes you write it down because it'll help you and you get golden nuggets, we call them. Like 6 months later, you read back and you think, bloody hell, that's what that means, you know? And that's like integrated. So then I was like, right, I'll go get a journal. And then Saturday, I went back in, drank the brew. And I basically like, I said, right, what am I meant to be doing here? Talk to me, like how do I get better? What do I do? And all that happened over and over again was this tree grew out the floor. It grew a branch. The branch grew like a little wooden person. The tree broke the person off and put him in a bin, and then did that, and then just showed me that over and over. And I was like, "What is this? You're just repeating yourself." And I just the next day, like when I woke up, wrote that down. I was like, "Oh my god, I get it! Like that is life. Like it's just over and over, continuous. Like." You grow, you the form a person, and then unfortunately you have to go away, and then you grow again as maybe a person or something else, or it's a continuous circle. And I thought, I'm feeling really, really rubbish here, but I'm gonna do this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like I'm gonna do this thousands and millions of times. Like why do I have to feel bad every time I do this? Like that's a million times feeling bad. Why don't I have a million times feeling good? So I was like, I need to sort my life out. Obviously went away for 8 months. I tried to integrate these experiences, and one night I was laid in bed. This was coming up about 8 months later. I was laid in bed. I was literally fell asleep, and this voice just said to me outright, "You need to go to ayahuasca." I was like, "Wow, what's going on?" I thought, "Oh, it must be a dream." So I sat up, as in like on the end of my bed. I was like, "That was intense." I thought it was a dream. And then this voice, like, or whether it was me knowing or voice or whatever, literally was like, "You need to go to ayahuasca." I was like, "I need to go to ayahuasca then." So I booked in for the 3rd ceremony, did 2 nights again. And then from there, that's when I started doing like actual work. I think, although the first 2, I got a lot from them in terms of keeping me alive, showing me that there's more out there than what meets the eye. From the 3rd ceremony, that's when I started like actually looking at stuff that was wrong with me. You know, like we looked at my escapism. Like I had a problem with drugs, like at a young age, before joining the army, and it all like boils down to like more personal reasons. But my escapism problem was that I didn't want to be in my body because my body constantly felt down or anxious or something. It was easier for me to get dissociative drugs and escape. And that was my escapism problem. And that was probably the hardest ceremony I've ever had in my entire life, ever. I was sat on my bed and this like voice said, go get a banana because you can eat half a banana. And what it does is it can make the ayahuasca like basically churn, brew. So if you're not feeling the effects, you basically eat half banana, it just changes your stomach and then it might kick in. So this voice was like, go eat half a banana. I was like, all right. So I went and did. I went and sat back down on my mat, put this like mask on. So it was like pitch black. And this voice said to me, could you escape from this? I was like, what do you mean in terms of escape? Could I escape physically, I leave where I am, or could I escape mentally? It was like, what you like this voice like, you choose. I was like, yeah, of course I could. I was like, if I want to leave, just get up and leave. Like nothing's stopping me be here. So then like I was like, this voice was like, close your eyes. So I closed my eyes. The minute I closed my eyes, it's like hand like grabbed my body and pushed me into the floor. And I was falling backwards, like almost like you see on a movie, you know, like when someone's drowning or something like that, and you fall in, your arms are going. And the hole that I'd fell through was just getting further and further and further and further away. And I was falling. And I was like, that's me. I'm dead. That's my life done. I'm never going to get back to my body. It's getting further. I was almost shouting in this like paradigm, whatever I was in, like, get me back. I need to get back. Like, and this paradigm didn't care at all about me falling backwards and being absolutely so scared. I laugh now, but at the time I was not laughing. I was basically just falling backwards and backwards. And all I remember is it just got to the point where I was just like, I need help. And this person come over and she just put her arm around me and was like, it's okay to cry and it's okay to need help. And I just burst into absolute tears. I snapped back to my body and I just cried and cried and cried for hours and hours. And from there, it was almost like I never want to leave my body again. You know, like my body is such a safe place. Like I've done ayahuasca since then, like, but my body's such a safe place. I've got to cherish it, man. It's so important. The body is so important. With a body, like, you know, you're really gonna struggle in this world. Like we're not go on.
It's very true you say that, Sam, because when you look at trauma and you look at people who go through depression, I've been through depression and all sorts of stuff like that, they're not in the body, and they say you take drugs or you just in general, like if you ever give someone a hug and you can tell they're not in the body, they're not fully there, and you go up 100%. To them and they're just it's like you're hugging nothing, they're not really present to hug you. You know, I notice that a lot when I hug family members. Like, the majority of them, literally, you can't even feel their essence. Kind of like on the autopilot kind of stuff. But it's all about being in the body. And for 100%. Me, like you do a lot of exercise, a lot of the martial arts aspect as well, and that's bringing you more in your body as well, because the more in your body, we're not meant to be anxious. We're meant our soul's not meant to be anxious. We're not meant to be down, depressed. But because of what's out there and what we're trying to focus on, and there's so much distractions and stuff like that, there's all of that stuff to get us out of a body. And this is why stuff like breath work, shamanism, ayahuasca are great tools, because they help you engage in the flesh again. Because you have to be grounded. If anyone listening is feeling unhappy, unwell, negative thoughts, so on and so forth, you're out of your body, and you have to find the time to be able to learn to do the breath. Breath's so important as well. So it's interesting you were saying that, because that's such an important thing, to really own your body and own who you are.
But just on that, I completely agree 100%. Being in your body is more important than drinking ayahuasca for me, 100%. I learn more off the medicine, but with the knowledge that the medicine give me. Does that make sense? So doing ayahuasca is amazing. You get a lot from it, but it's not be all end all. That's what people think. People think, I'll go do ayahuasca and I'll be safe. No, that's unfortunately, it's not the way it works. Ayahuasca is a tool used in conjunction with self work. Like it's not going to make you better. That's the fact. What makes you better is you wanting to get better, you going away and doing the meditation, spending at least 30 minutes outdoors a day, doing your daily exercise. Like that's what really, really helps, you know. Ayahuasca is used as a tool, and it's great, and it has helped me so much. But like sitting at home in my bedroom for hours on end, meditating or doing journeying, or, you know, like singing with my rattle over and over again, for hours, like just singing songs after songs after songs and getting into such a deep state, very, very grounding, you know, like allowing me to do healings for others as well. That is so grounding for me, and it brings me back to, and I don't know if you use it in your teachings still, but we use a thing called the mirror method. So if somebody comes to you because they need a healing with something, it's usually because you need healing with that thing yourself. So everything is a reflection of you. So if someone comes to me, I don't know, say, you know, they think that they're being lazy and they want to try and get back into a thing. When I think back to how I've been the last few days, I think, bloody hell, yeah, I hadn't trained at the gym for 3 or 4 days. But for me, that 3 or 4 days is a long time. So it's almost like, cheers, universe. I'm now going to go and implement that, because I know that if I don't, I'll get down. And it goes back to that tree, go back to that cycle. You've just got to stay in the cycle, because if you don't and you break off that branch and you go the other way, that's when stuff can start going downhill. Yeah.
And that's it. Even something so simple as exercise. That the amount of clients I have and who don't exercise, and they say they don't like to get sweaty, but you have to exercise. Everyone has to exercise at least once a day, 20 minutes, half an hour, because what you're doing is you're engaging your body to be in your body. And like when you go for a run or you go for a bike ride or do exercise, afterwards you feel fucking great. Like there's a reason behind it. You feel, because you're in your body, you're really grounded into your feet,
Yeah.
into your body, into your skin, and all of those disciplines, meditation, self practice, and that's really what the world is needing at the moment. Is people like you stepping up, realizing obviously the past is a past, learning from that, and discipline is one of the hardest things, Sam, for people, and it's a thing what puts people back to sleep. They come onto the path, they come off the path because they've not had a teacher or a mother or father there who's been disciplined in their life.
Yeah.
And it's important to instill that into the future generations, that there is a process of healing. Say, if I am disciplined in myself, my children can see that, and that can help them as well. And we've had the generation who've been so undisciplined, and they've not been taught discipline.
Yeah.
It's been like slapped and whipped and beaten up and put through the mill. And we're kind of like going into that realm of mental health actually fucking exists now. Back then, if you spoke what you were saying 50, 60 years ago, you'd probably be locked up. Same with me. If I said the stuff
Yeah.
I go through now, would be in a
Mental
hospital.
assignment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it is this is feels like for yourself, and for me is the thing what I would like to see different in the world and see different in my group ceremony, so on and so forth, is the lack of men. Because 95%, 90% of my clients, people who come to the ceremonies and stuff like that, are women.
I
So
agree. Same as
it,
mine.
it's so great to see you and have this conversation, to see you going through it, because we need more men stepping up and taking away their ego, taking away judgments, and being able to step up onto the plate of self-healing, self-nurturing.
Yeah. Mate, completely agree. 100%. I think as well is, you know, especially with society, there's definitely a stigma around men being feminine. 100%. And when you look at toxic masculinity, people think that men can't paint their nails. I paint my nails, man, but then I go on a night and fight for 3 hours because I do mixed martial arts. Like, that doesn't take away who I am as a person. But what I am doing is I'm getting in touch with the other side of me that is needed to heal. Like, for me, feminine energy and feminine people are very soothing, very calming, very healing energy. With the stigma, men have, they've got to go out and work, got to do this hard stuff, got to do that. There's no, you can't be a man but be healing. You can't be a man but be feminine. You can't be a man but be this. And I think that's part of society's problem is we've just built up this mask. Like I say again, just built this mask that men have to wear, that they can't do this, do that. When I talk to men by themselves on a very, very deep level, a lot of them have got a lot of stuff going on, and they'll talk to me about it. The same person, if they're around the boys, and I say, "All right, mate. How's that going?" They're like, "Oh, I'm doing that." Straight away, I'm just like, but 2 days ago, he was like messaging me saying, "Oh, so what's his meditation? Then how do I do meditation?" And then, like, I don't drink alcohol or do anything, but I go to like the pub, like see my friends or whatever. And I'll say, "Oh, so how's meditation going?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that. Mate, meditation, bro." I just think, bloody hell, you're not gonna. It is
That's it.
difficult, very difficult.
It is, and yeah, it's one of those things. It's like for the ladies, for women, the sacred feminine. There's so many groups out there now. In part of the spiritual industry, there's women groups, women groups, women groups, but there are a few men groups filtered here and there throughout. But realistically, on the big scale of things, it's so hard. It's so hard for a lot of males to open up and say, "Oh shit, I do
Yeah,
need help." And for me, that's what I needed to do. I lied for years and years, even on my spiritual journey. The first years I was lying to myself about who I was, and then it got to the
definitely.
point where I broke down and I went through something, and I actually just went, shit, I do need help. I do need to talk. And I go see a therapist like now. That's something actually of what I wanted to bring up, which was important, is how important it is when you're on this journey and you become a teacher or you become a student or whatever you're doing, therapist, is to continue on getting people to do work on you, and
Yeah,
always knowing
a
that
million. Yeah,
you have to tonight now go see a counselor, go see a Reiki therapist, all of that stuff to help you, because a lot of people engage in this thing and go, "Oh, I'm healed, I'm done. This is me. I don't need to heal myself anymore. I don't need." And then they don't let anyone touch them because they're traumatized by a trauma earlier on in the life. And
yeah,
this is the stage where if you're on the journey of spirituality, get someone to keep touching you. Not in that sounds a bit strange, but make sure someone's always constantly doing body work on you,
Yeah.
allowing people to touch and go on, touch you, and you not to be freaked out by it and all like, oh, get off it. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because I've noticed that, and I was becoming a light worker zealot. I call it the light worker bullshit, where they're so you're so healed that you don't let anyone heal yourself anymore. And I
Yeah.
hold my hand up, I was like that years back, and I've come off that journey and realized a lot of things about it. Um, so yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Sam. Well, what I want to do is have you on again to talk more about the shamanic practitioner side and all of that side. I do feel
Yeah.
this show's been great because we've focused on the ayahuasca, and you're a great teacher for other people to be able to own up and just say it's okay when you feel like shit, when you make mistakes. Just speak about it. The more you speak about it, the more unique and authentic you are. So thank you so much, brother. It's inspiring.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. And how can people get hold of you, Sam? What's for sessions and everything like that?
So I've based my company. It's called Whispering Winds Holistic Healing. That's on Facebook. My Instagram is Sam_Hancock with a double K. Obviously, it'll say Whispering Winds as underneath in the bio. My phone number, if anyone wants to just ring me directly, 07496522333. Yeah, more than happy to help. Obviously, when you message me, I can just send you a list of healings that I offer, Reiki, Oracle card, runes, that sort of stuff. You can decide what you want from there, or if you want some advice, or you want to tell me a bit about your situation, then I can advise you what I think would be best. But obviously, as the saying goes, it's your mat. You choose what's best for you. You know.
Outstanding, brother. Outstanding. And we've just met literally
Yeah, a
met
few
long
weeks ago.
ago, and we're gonna meet up for autumn equinox with my friend Craig and have a ceremony as well. So yeah, it's great to see you, Sam, and it's inspiring your journey, man. And keep going what you're doing. And yeah, we'll look forward to having you on the show again. Talk about more of the shamanic side of things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%,
Beautiful.
brother. Thank you.
No problem. And thank you everyone for watching the Talking Stick Show. So back after my father's passing and ready to start living again, doing stuff again. So thank you everyone for the support for the Talking Stick Show as well. And thank you everyone. Bye bye.